Hello and welcome to another wonderful interview with a fellow whip maker, whip cracker, and these, without an overly drawn out introduction, these interviews are talking to various people in the whip community, trying to bring the whip community together, especially this year with the pandemic and all, but mostly because we are separated around the world. And today I am joined by Isaac Eliason. Did I say that correctly, sir?
Yes, sir. How's it going, Christian?
Very good. It's good to see you, and it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Good to talk to you
We,
too. Glad we could get this
yeah,
done, or
absolutely,
glad we could get the chance to do this.
exactly. It's been a challenge. We've had some technical
Yeah.
difficulties in previous days, but yeah. So, I mean, these got started with the LA WhipCon, and I know you participated this
hmm
year, the virtual participation. You submitted a video, but you're not new to submitting videos and posting them online with whip cracking stuff.
No, no. I try and get my Fruit Ninja Friday thing up every once in a while
Fruit Ninja.
as my life permits.
Right. Yeah, if you guys have not seen his fruit videos, definitely give it a go. They are very entertaining, to say the least. Um, and the latest one with the Jello, that's very
Yeah.
exciting.
I gotta tell you, getting Jello like that into a balloon is no easy task. If I didn't have my wonderful wife with me, I don't think I could have
You
done it by myself.
need four
Uh,
hands to make that work.
yeah,
That's so cool,
4 hands, 20 toes, and
right? Have some funnels and things. Yeah,
funnels and a giant PVC pipe.
I love it. But yeah, so I mean, let's talk a little bit about well, number one, the video you recorded for the WhipCon, but yeah, the other videos that you make throughout the year. How do you plan these? How do you decide what fruit has harmed you this week that needs to die?
For fruit, well, saying luckily I live in Southern California, so fruit trees are all around, and my in-laws have quite a few citrus trees, so that's where it started with the grapefruit and then the orange and lemons and stuff like that. And then it's like, oh,
Gotcha.
hey, these actually look kind of cool. So then I started doing uh, apples and bananas and stuff like that, um, and pretty much anything that would look cool to be sliced on camera.
You're
I
right.
I got a few people who asked me to do a grape, and I still gotta do that one,
Oh, that
and then
one.
trying to find other things that just look cool that look cool in high speed.
Right, right. You just use your phone with the high speed on that, or do you have a special?
I just use my phone right
They
now.
look great.
Um, well, thank you.
That's really cool. Cool. What about with the WhipCon with all the different cracks you were trying to do and stuff? How did you come up with that? What was your thought
Um,
process?
when I did that, it was I only did about 3 takes, and you can kind of tell it in the video. Those of you who actually watched that thing is kind of sad, but I went into it thinking,
I didn't
okay,
think it was.
this is the actual whip competition, just like normal. So I got one shot. So I did. I tried not to do the 50 takes kind of thing, I guess, and I didn't have a big routine or anything. I just kind of went out and winged it really quick
Okay.
uh, and did the best I could.
I found it
Uh,
very enjoyable.
well, thank you,
So
thank you very
good
much.
job. But yeah, you definitely I love your fruit videos as well. Those are I look forward to those whenever I
Mhm.
see a new one come out. Like woohoo! But did you do just the single head? I don't remember seeing you do a two
I did
hand.
single hand and then the best I could for the two hand.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I missed that. I'll have to go find it.
I
But
know it's up on my YouTube channel. I think I got it shared on my
okay,
Facebook page too, but
okay,
it's around.
cool. Did you consider doing any of your fruit related videos for a performance of some sort? Because there was the performance category too.
There was with sadly with uh my day jobs, I wasn't able to put together a video.
Mm,
I thought about doing like just a compilation through 2020 of all I did. But I'm not much of a performer. Most times when I'm on camera, I start to stutter. So I didn't quite go for the performance category this year, but maybe next year
Sure.
I'll get something more edited together, and um, I think it could be a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
I, it really could be, especially if there could be like when we were talking to Adam, he was looking for that contiguous theme that goes throughout a video that tells a story or something.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, you've got the Fruit Ninja thing going. There, maybe with a little bit of brainstorming, we could come up with some sort of storyline. Get you
Yeah,
a ninja mask and just we'll go at it,
there
right?
you go.
But yeah, it was really impressive to see just all the entries this year, and yours
Yeah,
included.
yeah, that we got 56 from literally around the globe. I mean,
Right.
at the WhipCon, I've been to the last two Whip conventions ever since I moved out to Southern California, and it's been really cool getting to meet everybody from around the world. Meeting Johnny O'Grin last year, and
Wow.
Peter Thorndike, and all the guys from Down Under, um, and that's been really cool. And just seeing how much broader everything is, just the massive Whip community all over the
Yeah.
globe, and getting all the entries in,
Really
it was really really cool to watch them.
cool. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next time we can get together. And I mean, I've met a number of whip crackers individually, but
Hmm.
I've not been able to make it out to the LA WhipCon. That's part of why I'm doing these videos is
Hmm.
to capture some of that, and then talk to people like you. I mean, I've been through LA, but I we haven't hung out, man. We need to.
Yeah, no, for sure. Next time you're out here, shoot me shoot me a message. We'll get together.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, but I mean, with the pandemic, obviously, I won't be coming
Hmm.
out soon. But this pandemic has made the WhipCon obviously not happen, but it's
Hmm.
made a lot of things difficult. What has it been like for you as a observer who normally would be going, and participant both this year? What was it? What were the good things, the bad things with the WhipCon this year?
Kind of like I said earlier, one of the great things was seeing like all the people who got to compete that like can't make it out to LA. I feel really gifted living out
Right.
here, which is really nice. I can drive 45 minutes and I'm at the park.
That's
Um,
so nice.
yeah. Um, but uh, but I do miss seeing all my friends. I miss not seeing Adam and Aaron Bonk, Leo Orleans. Um, I really miss seeing Johnny O'Grin. Me and him had a lot of fun. It was really great meeting him
Yeah.
last year. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah, he seemed like when I
Uh,
was talking to him. That what were some of the things that I mean, you see on the videos and the pictures, just the different events happening and the competitions. But I mean, what else happened during those events that we're missing out on? Not to bring it down more, but what is it that you love about it beyond that?
what one of the great things was like um, the WhipCon after dark, I guess you could say, where everything kind of
Okay.
settles down. Everything kind of settles down for the day, and then like you have like the little groups that um, go off and hang out at bars and stuff like that. So I got to hang out with like I think it was Blake Gorey, me, Torrance Fisher, Nick Schrader, and his brother Luke, and Paul Noland, and we went to a couple bars, and that was a blast.
Wow, I bet
Um,
so. What a group. Yeah, what are they like when they get a couple? Well, maybe you shouldn't say on camera. So no, that's wonderful. And seeing the real side of people is
mhm.
probably pretty neat. Um, is there anybody that you met that was kind of unexpected that you were hoping to meet someone unexpected again this year?
um,
I mean, we're talking about
uh,
a year ago, so
Yeah, yeah. Last year was probably definitely Johnny. I didn't know he was showing up, and I was so excited for the WhipCon. I was down at the park at like 8 in the morning, and I saw this guy with the like fireball tattoo on his arm and a big beard. And it's like, isn't that the Witchcraft Whips guy? And it's like, oh yeah, it's Johnny. And I ran
oh,
out
cool.
and so, and caught up with him. It's like Johnny. He's like, yeah, I'm Johnny. And it's like, oh, cool, I'm Isaac. It's nice to actually meet you face to face.
That is awesome.
Um,
I look forward to doing those things, and hopefully other people that watch this video can see just. I mean, next year, let's all go. Let's all meet up.
yeah,
Let's
heck yeah,
go.
yeah. Let's do
That's
it.
super exciting.
Um,
What about the positives for the virtual thing this year? I mean, surely it hasn't been all bad.
oh no, no. Um, the amount of people who have gotten to enter,
Right, yeah.
the and the I think the performance category is a really really cool thing too
Hmm.
that was done this year that hasn't been wasn't able to be done really or in a previous year hasn't been done in a previous year. I
Right,
guess
yeah.
I should say that.
Probably didn't really make
Um,
sense.
yeah, it would be kind of cool to see, but like you were talking with Aaron Bonk, it'd be a lot different in person than it would be
Yeah,
like virtual. But it was a really I got a big kick out of it this year. I thought it was really
yeah,
cool seeing everybody's bits.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Uh, so, I mean, in addition to, I mean, all these competitions and seeing all the performances and all, obviously a big part of it is the whip making,
Hmm.
which you're no stranger to.
Nope.
So, and you mentioned you got to meet Johnny and you said Peter, I think.
Yep.
You got
Yeah. I got to meet Peter
that,
last year.
that's cool.
Um,
Peter Thorndike, of course.
yes.
Um, so tell me a little bit about the whip making. How long have you been doing that? How long have you been cracking whips? We haven't even talked about that. How'd you
Um,
get in?
so to go into my origin story, I guess I started really getting into whips when I saw my very first Indiana Jones film, as most of us
Right.
do, Kingdom of the Crystal
Oh,
Skull.
really?
I saw that
Okay.
one first, so I think I kind of got a blessing because I like that one plus the other three.
Okay.
If you call that a blessing or a curse, but
Like what you like.
ever
That's
since
okay.
um, but from that I wanted a whip, pretty much like a lot of us do once they watch those movies. And I went home and I took a piece of um, tubing rope like you'd attach like behind a boat to go skiing with, like
Oh,
you'd
sure.
hook up the run to, and I duct taped a handle onto it so it looked kind of like a handle with a little ball heel knot at the end,
Oh my.
and
Okay.
then attached a string to the end, and I could kind of do the crack like that. Um,
Wow.
and then I'm like, okay, this has to be braided. So then I made a couple that were like braided out of some just random cotton ropes and stuff
Hmm.
like that. Um, and then Adam came out with his Insta Whip,
Right.
and I had those for years. I still have a couple of them around the shop somewhere. Um, and then Nick's video came out when I hit college, and then that really opened up my eyes. It's like, oh, okay, actually braiding a whip isn't as hard as I thought. And so I built that a whip like that, and then I made one for a friend, and
Hmm.
then I made a couple more for myself. And then um, um,
That's I
yeah,
mean, so how long ago was that? I mean, you've been making whips for a while.
uh,
I mean, some of the stuff you've made is just beautiful too. Your skill has obviously increased dramatically. You guys should
mm,
check out some of his work.
well,
Yeah.
thank you very much. I probably actually made under 50 whips
Wow.
um, total.
Okay.
Um, I just I'm a craftsman at
Hmm.
heart. In college, I went to advanced manufacturing and stuff like that, and I've always loved working with my hands. My dad was a big into woodworking and stuff
Hmm.
like that, so I've always
Sure.
had craftsman's hands, and I've always taken a lot of pride in what I build. Um, and I try and get the looks and the aesthetic as good as I can get it. Um, so
Are there some whips that you've made that you're especially proud of?
there is one I designed that's um, that should be for sale at my Etsy shop, but it's closed. I'll get that open hopefully in the next couple months.
Okay.
It and I actually got it close to me. It's this guy, and Torrance Fisher loves this thing. But it's a uh, just a basic bullwhip, but it turned out so perfectly when you can throw it and it'll just lay out perfectly. And I use that design for any custom build I do now.
Okay.
And
I know. Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
And I was going to say the taper twisted fall. Once I started using those, they are amazing.
Yeah, I love those as well. Tori does this where he fuses the ends together, where they're twisted, versus Adam does a knot. How do you end your tapered twist?
I fuse. I kind of go off Tori's, where I'll do like this bit is 4, and then it's about 3 to here, 2, and then the last bit's a single strand.
Okay.
But it's all one continuous piece of paracord.
Oh, cool. I like that. Yeah, that's kind of like a. But what about the end of the thong, where so like an English eye, or how
yeah,
do you end that?
I use an English eye. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not.
Yeah,
there we go.
Very nice. It looks very clean. I like that. I've been playing with different designs as well, and it's always interesting to see how you bring that taper down. And that tapered fall that you were showing there is a good way to really get that down to the point.
Yeah, Torrance actually has a really cool way of ending his tapered twists. Let me see if I got a whip around with it. Yeah, he does. I saw him do this, and this is amazing. He feeds instead of actually tying like a 2-point fall hitch, he finishes the twist, feeds one strand into itself, out of itself, back into itself, so it creates a small little eye.
Exactly.
And then fuses it, and it creates this super, super thin, precise point. So you don't even have that like little tiny knot at the end. So it just goes right from basically one strand into the fall, and it's just a super clean look that I love.
Yeah, I do too. I've been whenever I make that for someone, I refer to it as the Fisher hitch myself, just because
the Fisher hitch. I love that
because Tori taught me. He says he feels like it. Probably he learned it from somewhere else, but I'm giving him credit.
Yeah,
so
I always give him credit for that.
Yeah, it's
the Fisher hitch. I will definitely use that.
Yeah, actually, most of this whole side of the wall all has those on it.
Oh, nice.
So, he came by here a couple years ago, and we spent the day together. It was really pretty cool. Tori's an amazing whip maker as well.
Yes, he is.
You know, whip making is something that, like I said, Tori was here, and you get to talk to him as well. It's something that's really hard to do virtually.
Yes.
And although, I mean, your story earlier was telling us how you basically have a whole education that you went through virtually in a way.
Mm-hmm.
That is
true.
Did you do a lot of hands-on with other people, or was it mostly the video stuff?
It was a lot of video stuff, but I don't think my work really hit the point where it is today until I got to go to the WhipCon in 2019 and actually see and use some other people's work. Because my balance on my whips and the way I was constructing them and kind of how they felt was a little off to what I would call a good performing whip. And
so like how far out weight you've got in the thong versus how much weight in the heel, or
right. Yeah, I was loading. I think I was loading pretty much my whole core, if not all of it.
Wow.
And it made for some really heavy thongs, and they casted great for flicks and stuff, which is what I really liked to do, because when I saw Indiana Jones, it's like, okay, I got to swing from a tree branch.
Right. I think everybody asked me that. I answered that question this week, actually, for someone.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah. They wanted to order a couple of whips and was asking about. So how much weight do you think you could? I mean, no, just don't.
Don't. Yeah.
If that's what you want, we got to start from scratch. I got to get you some steel cable and rigging if you want to do that. Otherwise, no. But what about like the transition zone? That's something I've noticed. A lot of people are very different Adam likes a softer transition. Keith, who's in our chat, actually, hello Keith,
Hey,
has
Keith.
he likes the stiffer transitions. Um, I can see reasons for both. I tend to go a little softer, is what I personally enjoy. But what do you think, especially with the ones that you handled out at the WhipCon?
I like a little stiffer because I go more for the onto the targeting route than
True.
the multi-cracking route. Um, but I like the stiffer transition. The whips that I build, however, I usually only do binding at the core. I don't bind on my belly.
Okay. So it's mostly tension then when you're building
Yeah,
those
I try
other
and control
bellies.
everything with tension.
That's really impressive, and it's been something that I think shows my as I look back through the whips that I've made, the difference between my early whips and the later whips is how I've had increase in skill. And I don't know if it's the same for you with being able to slack off on that the taper of the tension of the braiding itself.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, it's
go ahead.
go ahead,
No,
please.
I was just going to ask how if you have any markers that you make, any measurements, how you do you just eyeball it? Like how do you get that rollout, that tension as you're braiding?
I go off kind of strand drops. Um, the way I lay out my whips is different than I think I've seen anyone else do.
Oh yeah?
When I go to and I'm working on getting a video out on how I build my bull whips, but I'll lay out my I'll plate my belly. We'll say belly's done, and then I'll calculate where I want my strands to be dropped or added because I usually do an English eye. And I will go in then and tie a little piece of sinew on each spot. So if I want an add at 43 inches, there's a little string or a little piece of sinew tied at 43
Okay.
inches. So then I have marks all the way down the whip. And then if I need to add it a little bit earlier, later than that, I will just to fill in or if it's getting a little too thick.
Sure, sure.
Um, but it's something I haven't seen anybody else use.
Yeah, I mean, I saw how
Um,
in Nick's latest 2020 video that his 2 or 3 hour long, the big one that he releases
mhm.
every year, he marks with a Sharpie on the bellies where the tape ends, where the binding ends,
Oh
and so forth,
yeah.
that sort of thing. But no, not quite like for each of the drops and all. I have an index card with my reference for I keep for I these are the spots I want to drop.
Hmm.
But yeah, if I'm 3 inches above or below it, it's based on how it's looking.
Right.
Um, but yeah, that's really interesting. Um, do you think, considering your experience both with people and doing the video, that there's something that we could do more of for this year's virtual, well, life? Like how can we have more whip making, hang out with amazing whip makers at the park without hanging out with whip makers at the park?
Um, I've been kicking around the idea of somehow trying to do like a Zoom
Hmm.
workshop on whip building. There's a gentleman, Christian, I believe is his name, that I would hang out with at the park with the Los Angeles whip artists.
Okay.
Uh, and he kicked the idea to me on a couple of Instagram lives that I did about doing a live whip making workshop.
Wow, that's a great
And
idea.
I've been kind of kicking around the idea on how to put it together. It just hasn't the idea hasn't fully formed well enough yet. It's like, okay, do I tell you to go buy the material, or do I try and like um, ask you to pay for the class and then I'll ship you the material, or how all that's going to work, and
Sure.
how many people can I get into the class? How many people do I think versus how many people can I actually take into the class and stuff
Hmm.
like that. Um,
I'll follow that with interest.
yeah.
I mean, those are the really beginning is is where it's so difficult. There's a lot that's overwhelming. It's pretty simple once
Hmm.
you do it a time or two, but
Hmm.
even just handling all the mess of all the strands and trying to get
Hmm.
started. Once it's going, it's a little easier. All those sort of things. Yeah, the beginners are probably going. I'd be interested to see how you handle all that. But with the cracking too, though,
Hmm.
handling these beginners, I know you have some thoughts on helping beginners get started too.
Yeah, Justin and I, thanks to your interview with Adam, we just launched the Whip Cracking 101 competition group on Facebook.
So excited for this.
We're growing members. I think we're about at 67 last time I looked. Uh, and what we're doing is
You're at
hosting.
82 right now.
Oh, really?
82.
Heck yeah. Okay, thank you. Um,
It's rocking and
uh,
rolling.
that is awesome. Um, but we are doing a almost a year-long competition. It'll last till November is when we're planning on ending it. And during that time, there'll be competitions each month that you can enter. It'll be three levels of a series of cracks. So level one will have a quick series of 3 to 5 crack, like a 3 to 5
Okay.
crack combo. Level two will have a different one that might be a tad tougher, and then level three will have another one that'll be a tad tougher. So if you're a real big beginner, you can just focus on the level one. If you want a little bit more challenge, you can do two, and if you want to do level three, you can do uh, all three. And
So are
each
these? Oh, sorry.
oh,
You
go
said
ahead.
you said competition, monthly competition.
Mm.
is it actually competing against each other, or is it in there? You said
It's
challenge also.
uh, it's I guess it's more of a challenge than a competition. So as you complete levels each month, um, you will get a series of points. Level one is worth 1 point, level two is worth 2 points, and level three is worth 3 points. So there's 6 points you can get
Okay.
every month, and uh, those will all be tallied up, and those will all be submissions to a November, basically end of year raffle, where
Oh,
we'll
cool.
be giving away prizes of whips, of discounts, um, and hopefully a bunch of other things that we're gonna get collected over the year
Right.
to have a big raffle for November. And then hopefully everything will be able to be shipped out and gotten to the winners in December, so they can bring them to the competition in January if they would
Oh,
like.
how
That
cool.
was kind of our thinking.
No, I love that. And it'll help. One thing I've loved about the virtual WhipCon, well, and the in-person one too. Even though I didn't attend last year, I still worked on my routine. I was practicing as if I were going, even though last year, like I said, I couldn't. But
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea of having a goal each month
Mm-hmm.
of I want to try to add this one new crack or three new cracks to my
Mm-hmm.
repertoire each month. Each month, that's really exciting. Are you going to do one hand and two hands? Or are you going to focus on one for beginners?
We're just going to focus this year on one for beginners. We might add a little something extra through the year, like bonus points or bonus raffle entries or something like that. But we're just going to focus on one-handed cracks this year at least.
Very exciting. I cannot wait to see where this goes, and I'm looking forward to your first challenge.
It'll be out
Okay.
Sunday. Official announcement. It'll be out Sunday.
All right, you heard it here live. So we'll hold you to it. I'm looking forward to it, and I think I mean a number of people I've talked to are excited about having just that extra carrot for yourself, not necessarily that in hopes of winning the raffle, which would be cool, but
Hmm.
just to have a goal each month to do it.
Hmm.
I mean, even my wife I was talking to, she cracks with whips with me from time to time, but
Hmm.
she's not driven to as much as it is for myself.
Hmm.
And she was kind of excited about this as a reason to do it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, I'm really excited to drag her out there with me more often. So no, she loves it, and it's a lot of fun to do it together.
Yeah, it is. I know I love bringing my wife whip cracking with me. Even depending on how much she likes it that day. But she's fantastic, and she picks it up really great, really
Yeah.
quickly, and it's
She
awesome to whenever she
cuts the
comes out
fruit
to
too.
practice. She hasn't cut fruit yet. She put out her first candle a few weeks ago, and that was great.
Congratulations. That's great. That's very cool. All right. Well, this has really been so much fun, and I really hope if you guys have not joined the, and I'll read it off exactly, Whip Cracking 101, the monthly challenge is the name of the group to go look for. Definitely join that group and be part of these monthly challenges. I'm going to be part of them. I'm going to be doing them. I'm looking forward to see who all participates and all the videos people put out for this as well.
It's going
But
to be fantastic. I hope it'll be a fun thing for 2021.
absolutely. And Isaac, if somebody would like to give you some business, have you make them a whip or something, where can they go find out more about you and get a hold of you?
I'm most active on Facebook. You can probably shoot me a message there. Anytime I got to pretty respond pretty quickly to pretty much anything that shoots my way. And then you can also find me on YouTube, both under Eliason Whip Company.
Very good, Eliason Whip Company. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, Isaac. I appreciate it. Thank
Chris,
you, Keith, for in the chat here for chatting with us. I appreciate it.
Christian, so much. Thank you so much for all this. These interviews have been fantastic.
Absolutely. I'm glad you've enjoyed them. And if anyone has any questions or suggestions, I'm looking forward to those as well, and other ways to continue to bring our whip community together, just like you're doing with your 101 group. It's very awesome.
That's the goal.
Thank you very much, and have a good night.
Good night.